I am sick. I am also using you because this is the first time I've opened up my computer today. I haven't been up that long, but I am trying to figure out if I have the energy to do some work. I just broke my intermittent fast, so if you didn't watch my last video, I talked about how I'm doing intermittent fasting along with a loose version of the keto diet, all plant-based. And I just had some coffee, so that's how I broke my fast. Generally, I'll break my fast with some coffee, with some coconut milk, or I just finished a carton of oat milk, which is really high in carbs, actually. So sadly, I will not be having a lot of oat milk for a little while. It's my favorite milk. But I love coconut milk, and I've been making my own. It's really good. So anyways, I broke my fast with that and some stevia, and it was really nice. I'm hoping that will give me some energy, but I also think I have to face the facts that I am sick today. I may have what is known as the keto flu. This is something actually someone brought up, I think last week when I made my video about not feeling well. I definitely was not sick like I am today then. I think back then, who knows, like, I'm making a lot of changes, especially with my eating and my fitness and, all that. So I suppose this could be the keto flu, which is something that's very common when your body is going through a lot of changes. I think I read it has something to do with like switching over from how your body was reacting to all the carbohydrates, that I definitely was eating a lot of carbohydrates. Like, what's been so fascinating about doing a loose keto diet, and when I say loose, I mean like I'm not following it super strict. I'm eating low carb, but I'm not tracking any of my carb intake, so I may be having more carbs than is technically considered keto, but it's a lot less. And so just by being mindful of carbohydrates, I'm recognizing how many carbohydrates I normally eat. And I know there's so many perspectives on this. Like, what I don't want to hear is like a lot of people's opinions on high carb, low carb, all that stuff. If you didn't watch my last video, I go into a lot of depth on that, so I recommend that. And got really vulnerable about my history of disordered eating and all that stuff. So I explained a lot of my sensitivity to people sharing their opinions about dieting and all that stuff. But anyways, I have tried a high carb diet, and it's really interesting to experiment with the low carb one for the first time. And I really do think this is going to be temporary. Anyways, back to being sick, I'll have to look up why this happens. It's also very possible that I just got sick from people that I was around that were sick. At least one person in my life had very similar symptoms. So yesterday I woke up with a sore throat, and I was like, great, I think I caught whatever that person had, who had it like a few days before me. But then today, in addition to the sore throat, I'm also sneezing a lot. I feel stuffy. My head feels like I have a cold or a flu. And what's horrible about this is that I have a big project, a work project that I wanted to complete today. And up until this moment, I have had very low energy, but I'm hoping the coffee plus doing this video is going to give me some energy so I can at least make some progress on that project that I wanted to finish today, which is my newsletter. Little side note, big side note, and also little side note, because I want to get back to talking about some other things, is that I have been procrastinating my newsletter for Eco Vegan Gal for years, and it has just been something that I have not prioritized enough, and I'm fed up with that. That is like one of the biggest missed opportunities I think that I've had. And I'm trying to figure out a lot with my career right now, with my brand, I should say, with Eco Vegan Gal. And this year is the 10th year. Like, I'm a couple months away from being officially 10 years of running Eco Vegan Gal, which is so nuts. So nuts. I remember thinking about this, like, Well, hopefully I'll remember to come back to that. I did just want to say this is an awful day to get sick. A, because of work, which, because I work for myself, I can just procrastinate. I'm such a bad procrastinator. And the newsletter, I drag my feet on. I have a few things that I really should be working on that are pretty time sensitive, and I just haven't. So I don't want to feel sick today. But, you know, this is very possible, just resistance and procrastination manifesting as physical symptoms. I can't remember if I talked about this. I think I talked about this last week's video where I talked, like, why do I feel this way? Like, the resistance that comes up. And I'm just, like, becoming more and more aware of my own walls and blocks and ceilings and all that stuff, all self-imposed, because I am somebody that deeply believes that anything is possible and you can do anything you want in your life. You can achieve anything. I want to just live whatever life I want, and I just think that I have not really been tapping into my full potential, and I think most people don't, honestly. It's actually very rare to meet people who are like really living up to their potential. That's like such a small percentage. Whenever I meet somebody who is like doing the best, truly the best that they can do with their lives, I'm like so amazed by them. But I feel like most people that I meet are letting their self-esteem get in the way. A whole nother tangent that I probably won't go on in this video, but who knows. All right, so the other thing that I'm really frustrated about being sick about today is that I've been waiting for this day for weeks. It feels like an eternity, but it's been like literally 2 weeks, because I'm going to see one of my favorite bands in concert tonight. And I'm so excited about it. So the good news is that I'm not like insanely sick. Obviously, the fact that I'm recording this video is a testament to that. But I actually, being sick is kind of nice today, because I feel like on days like this, it's like, for me, having, you know, growing up with Christmas, like Christian family, like, you know, that classic feeling of like going to bed and knowing that the next morning you're going to wake up and get all these presents, like that feeling of anticipating something really exciting. It can sometimes make time drag on. Although I would say the day is going by really fast today, and like the past 2 weeks went by pretty fast. So the concert is going to be here before I know it. Right now, what is it, like 1:30, 2 o'clock? It's almost 2 o'clock, and the concert starts at 8. I am so excited about this concert. I just have to share. I can't even believe that I'm going to it tonight. Like, it's one of those things I just really want to be super present for and savor, because I love this band and their music so much. And that's One Republic. I fell in love with them almost exactly 2 years ago. I feel like I've been a fan of theirs for so much longer. I remember hearing their music actually on my last job. I have a memory back in 2000, end of 2009, beginning of 2010. That was my last full-time job. And I remember hearing some of their songs. They had their first hit. If you don't know their name, I almost guarantee you know their music, because they have had so many hit songs. And their first breakout song, I guess their breakout song, I could just say, was the song Apologize. It's too late to apologize. That's their song. And I've actually never really been a huge fan of that. I thought it was nice at the time, but I think that came out in 2009 or 2010. And they had that album, and there's got some good songs. And their songs have been on the radio a ton. Their most popular song is Counting Stars. Which I'm not going to sing. The lead singer has like incredible range for his voice, but he also, Ryan Tedder is his name. I'm such a geek. I'm going to geek out about One Republic right now. And this is giving me energy, which is great too. I told you I was using you today for this video. So Ryan Tedder is amazing, not only because of his vocal talents and his songwriting. I mean, they write all their songs, and like they're the super tight-knit band that like has been together for at least 10 years, and like, you know, they started off really small. They're actually based in LA, but I think that they started their band in like Colorado or something. And Ryan Tedder is really amazing because he's written hit songs for Beyonce, for I think Demi Lovato, Ariana Grande, Ed Sheeran, a lot of like the top music performers. He's written some of their top songs. And so he's just an incredible songwriter. But his voice is amazing too. And like, so it was actually really special for me when I got into their music in 2016. They had this song called Kids. And 2016 was a tough year for me. It felt like really hard, especially the end of 2016. I had feelings for this guy who I thought, like, at some point, like, I didn't really talk about this that much, I don't think, but a little history is back then I like went on a few dates with this guy in like August 2016, and long story short, like for a few month period, it just felt like this, is he into me, is he not into me type of thing. Earlier that year, I had this massive crush on a guy who like that, nothing ever worked out with him, but I was like, it was like one of those tortured like schoolgirl crushes. And then I dated somebody for a few months back in 2016, you might have remembered, and that was really interesting and challenging. There was just a lot going on for me romantically in 2016. My grandfather, my last grandparent, passed away in September 2016, and of course that was super emotional and a big turning point in my life for a lot of reasons. And anyway, so this song, like OneRepublic came at like this time where I was just like feeling a lot of heartache. And I heard this song called Kids, which was one of their it was like their second single, I think, for their latest album. They haven't made an album since then. And that song resonated with me on such a deep level that I was like obsessed with that song, and I would just like listen to it over and over and over again, and I would like drive my car around longer just so I could listen to it in the car, because I think the first time I heard it, I remember where I was driving home, I think from my friend's house late at night, and I heard that song. I think I even remember the street I was turning onto. I could be wrong, but it just like hit me and resonated with me. And I was like, this song is so great. If you've never heard the song Kids by OneRepublic, it's not like a super, I don't think it ever like had mass appeal like Counting Stars or or Apologize and some of their other big songs. But like that song to me was huge. So I heard that in like August 2016, and then I went home to see my family in September, just as I'm going to do this year. So it's like a replay, right? It's like almost exactly 2 years ago that this all happened. And I was so obsessed with this song, Kids. Again, please listen to it. I can't play it on this video because copyright and all of that. And again, it's a really hard song to sing, actually. And you probably, if you just give it a listen. It's such a sweet song because it's about like your childhood and thinking that you're never gonna die, and like just like all the like good feelings of being a kid. And so it just gave me a lot of good feelings during a tough time. And then I think I was listening to the radio randomly, which I don't usually do. I was with maybe my family member or something, and I heard on the radio that OneRepublic was going to play a free concert in Boston on a day that I happened to be going to Boston anyways. And I was like, did I hear that correctly? And I went on the internet and I was like, it's true. They're playing a free concert in Boston where I happened to be going. And I was like, this is fate. I have to go. And there's actually a vlog. I think is it on this channel? Remember, I was doing a lot of vlogging in 2016, and if you're curious, I actually stopped vlogging right around when my grandfather passed away. And it was twofold, because the timeline that my grandfather passed away, actually the last day I ever saw my grandfather, I saw him less than 48 hours before he passed. And that day, it was so emotional for me because I was so torn up about this one guy. And I visited my grandfather, and I was just like really upset about some things I was going through with this guy. And I visited my grandfather, and I was literally, I interviewed him on camera, and I was choking down tears the entire time because I was just so heartbroken and simultaneously sitting across from my dying grandfather. It was like so intense. I think I'd already seen the One Republic concert, but why did I bring that up? I have no idea. I remember calling my grandfather as I was walking to the One Republic concert in Boston. So, oh yeah, my point is that I stopped vlogging right around the time of that One Republic concert. It's definitely in a vlog, and I think that's on this channel. So you can go back and see the day that I saw One Republic for the first time. And I was like, in that video, sharing that I didn't even know if I was going to get into the concert because it was free, and it was like an all-day concert. And so I was like, did I have to get there when the concert opened, or could I arrive at any? I had no idea. And I was completely by myself. Which is also kind of weird that I like went to this concert by myself, but I walked like a really long distance because I had a meeting in one part of the city, and I like walked across the bridge. Like, you can see all of this in this video, and it was this gorgeous day out in Boston, and I was like, and I remember when I got into the concert, I was so excited because I didn't even know, right? And then like saw a few bands, and I got all the way up to the front, and it's completely free, and I saw One Republic for the first time, and I was like, this is amazing. I was also the only person in the audience that knew the words to their new song, Kids, because it had only been out for like a month. And anyways, like, I learned that people generally at concerts do not know the lyrics to somebody's new music. I've learned that with a few concerts I've been to in the past few years. Like, maybe that sounds obvious, but I just find it so funny when you go to a concert and they play their newer songs, and people are spending all this time and money to go to a concert and not know any of their new music. I'm like, is it just me, or is that weird? Like, and my other favorite performer who I've seen, how many times have I seen? I think I've seen him 3 times now, Ray LaMontagne. He's so good that I went to this same exact concert on both coasts this year. So I saw him once in LA in June, I think it was June, and then I saw him in, I think it was also June, in Boston, because his concert was so good. But a lot of people were complaining that they didn't like Ray's concert because he played all of his new music. And I'm like, what? I love his new music. Anyways, so my point being, this long story, this little story time I'm giving you right now, is that because I saw that free One Republic concert 2 years ago, I really fell in love with them as a band. And now I know the lyrics to, like, mainly all their new music, but a lot of their old songs. And I saw them at a big concert in LA last year. I think it was last October 2017. And I'm seeing them again tonight. So despite how physically sick I'm feeling today, I'm going to push through, and I'm going to go have an amazing time tonight. And I think it's such a great testament to how much control we have over our bodies in a lot of ways. There are a lot of ways where we don't have control. Perfect example is all my weight struggles throughout the year, which again I documented a lot in the last video. And I'm experiencing a lot now, seeing how hard it is to really get in better shape. It's also funny how long it can take. Like, I think a lot of us, I remember as a teenager growing up and thinking, oh, like, if you want to lose weight, it's so easy. You just switch it. And then, like, you're 2 weeks in and you get frustrated because you're not seeing progress. And again, this is actually one of my biggest regrets in my life, is that I give up way too easily on things if they don't work right away. So my commitment to getting in better shape right now is hopefully going to help motivate me to stick with things. Because I've only been, like, really serious about getting in shape for maybe 2 weeks. And anyways, so my other point was that since I don't feel that well today, I'm determined to feel better to go enjoy this concert tonight. And I'm really grateful that I'm not, like, insanely sick. I just don't feel 100%. Like, I have, like, that head cold feeling where I feel kind of, like, tired and like, it's like a grogginess feeling. Like, I'm on, like, some medication or something, like, and I've been sneezing and blowing my nose a lot and getting like a lot of mucus issues and the sore throat and all that fun stuff. And I don't know, again, if I got it from somebody else or this is the keto flu that I've heard a lot about, but I'm just trying to take good care of myself today. I've been trying to work out every day, but I think I might just skip today's workout and spend a lot of time resting and working and being gentle on the work stuff too. And I want to say hi to Liz and Efroy, who either were here or are here live. Thank you for tuning in. I kind of wish that I had a way of tracking some of my thoughts before, because I tend to go on so many tangents, just sharing things here. Because I felt like I was going on a pretty good tangent about like my career. So let me see if I can get back on track with that. It's really interesting that I'm about to hit the 10-year mark. And earlier this year I was like, 10 years, like let's celebrate. I really wanted to do a road trip across and go to like all the major cities across the US and some in Canada. And I do think I'll still do that, but it'll probably be either late this year or early next year. I'm getting my Tesla sometime in the next 2 to 4 months. No idea when that's going to be. But my gut instinct says I'm going to get it in October. And that's a huge thing for me. And actually, I don't know if I really thought about it this way, but to me, it's kind of like I am celebrating my 10-year anniversary with my dream car. So that's really exciting. I will say that the Tesla Model 3, I'm really, really excited about it. And it's, as I've said in other videos, it's a big financial commitment for me. But I'm going to make it happen. I'm going to use it as motivation to procrastinate less and really, focus on reaching my full potential. But I do have some other car. Like my other car that I love is the BMW i3, which is part electric car. It's so cool looking. And I guess maybe that would be the only other dream car I have. I love sports cars, funny enough. And my friend Jason Robel, I think, is responsible for a lot of that because he's really into cars, if you didn't know about this yet. I have tried so hard to get Jason to start a YouTube channel about cars. I've also tried to get him to start an Instagram account dedicated to his animals because if you haven't seen his Instagram, his animals are insanely cute. I'm obsessed with them. Obsessed. I love his animals so much. But anyways, it's Jason's fault for the most part that I started to really get into cars. And he's partially responsible, I think, for me deciding to get the Tesla. And I just started, Jason and I dated years ago. And when we were dating, that's when I started to, learn more about cars through him. And I just learned, I just started to have such a greater fascination and appreciation for cars. So I started to really enjoy sports cars and fast cars and cool looking Ferraris and Lamborghinis. I don't think I would ever have one unless they became more eco-friendly. But there are some cars like the BMW i3 which are still really cool looking and a lot more eco-friendly. So maybe one day I'd have a car like that. But for now, having a Tesla is a really big dream come true for me. And it's really amazing that it's hopefully going to arrive in my life around the 10-year anniversary of Eco Vegan Gal. And one of the big reasons that I wanted that car is because I wanted an electric car that could go long distances. I had a Fiat 500e. That was my last car, my first electric car. And it was so amazing having an electric car. There was no turning back to go back to gas after that experience. But it only had a range of 80 miles per trip maximum, maybe 90 if I was really good about there's all these variables. If you've never had an electric car, it's a learning curve. And so I did one long distance trip with it, which was to go to Palm Springs, actually back in, I think that was 2016. That must have been. Yeah. I drove it out there. Actually, I'm almost 100% sure that was actually another turning point. There was a lot that happened negatively in 2016 for me, and positively, I suppose. There's always positive sides, but I took the car. Oh, the gardeners are here. I'm gonna have to go. The gardeners come, and I have to make sure the backyard is free of Evie, and she's also gonna run out and bark at them. So I gotta go abruptly. I'll catch you back soon. And thank you so much for watching. Evie's like literally racing after the gardeners right now. I gotta go. Bye. Thanks so much for watching.